Hi everyone, it's FSketcher fashion drawing tutorials, and in this lesson we're going to render this beautiful floral look from Etro 2018 pre-fall collection. So let's start. Here is a list of equipment. If you have different markers or different medium, you can match the colors during the lesson. So I start drawing the model, and usually I draw just random shape for her head. As I'm redrawing from original image, I try to repeat the same pose, and her pelvis at the front and her chest is at the back. So that's why this spine is curved like that, like mirrored S. Her left side leg is straight and her right side leg is a bit to the side. And here are her arms. So her elbow is approximately at the waist level. Then I divide her head by two, both horizontally and vertically. And on horizontal line I draw eyes and a bit lower nose and lips. I have a separate tutorial for the face drawing, so you can check FSketcher YouTube channel. Between her nose and eyes I draw cheekbones, then I draw jawline till her mouth, and then connect everything with her chin. Now I'm drawing a bit smaller eyes at the distance to stylize it. You can find in the video description a link to the article on FSketcher website where I talk how changing the size or distance or position of the eyes can affect general look, and maybe it can help in developing your own style. But style developing is natural process, don't worry about it. So now I'm drawing her neck. It's just two parallel lines. So I just draw these lines along her spine. Since she turns a bit, her body turns a bit, her right side is a bit longer than her left side. That's why I allocated a bit more of the length for her shoulders and for her waist and hips on the right side than on the left side. So here basically it's like wider at the hips and thinner close to her knees. And for the lower legs, it's more curved in the upper half and almost like straight lines in the lower half till the ankles. And the height of her feet is like one head, so really big feet. So let's start drawing her garments. We have so here's the middle jugular point where collarbones meet. Here we have this round collar and this crop top has it has stripes just below her breast. And we have like a kimono style jacket, and it goes behind her hand. So I start this line behind her neck, and then it goes behind her hand. And we have this long sleeve and wrinkles at the elbow since her arm is bent. And similar on the other side. I think here's too much. So okay, here we have her belt. So I'm drawing the details. It's quite wide. And then, well, usually trousers, they are a bit lower than the crotch. So I draw this line a bit lower than her crotch. And since your trousers are wide and more like a boot cut, so I make them wider at the bottom, and in general, as you can see, there's some distance on the sides of your knee till the outline of your trousers, and they're quite long, they're reaching the floor. So once you finish drawing everything, just outline. I mean, outline if you want to, because I usually do that. So I start from your face and everything. In this case, I'll outline everything, but try to keep your main outline of the clothing a bit thicker, and inside, like different wrinkles and secondary lines, a bit thinner. So for example, right now I'm using a fine liner with 0.1 nib. So I would use the same fine liner for the wrinkles, but I would, hardly touch paper and keep the pen at the angle, so my lines are a bit thinner for those secondary lines. I'm using Patty Pro Marker. It's a bit, it's a bit pinkish skin color for the shadows on your face. Below your nose, showing your nose bridge, cheekbones, hairline, any, like prominent parts or like holes. I add shadows under your chin. And with one more layer, just making some shadows darker. Again, I'm talking more about that in a face drawing tutorial. So next, I'm covering everything with Almond Pro Marker. It's almost the same color, it's just a bit lighter. And next, with a purple pencil, I'm coloring exactly at the same spots, but I'm trying not to show any strokes. I'm hardly touching paper again, just a little bit of it. So warm gray 3 for really dark shadows, like under your chin, also on the top of eyelid lines, and highlights with white pen on the top of your nose, just above the shadows. And I usually add some, freckles with white ink gel pen. So just fixing your iris. More of the shadows with warm gray 3. If your marker bleeds over your outline, you can fix it with white ink gel pen. I use raw cyan as a base for your hair. And with brown pencil, I'm giving this hair texture, and I'm leaving the highlights. Usually it's the top of prominent parts. Like if your hair is wavy, then the top of the wave is light, as you can see. Every top of the wave I left lighter, and every bottom is a bit darker. Like right now I'm using even black pencil to darken a bit the roots. And behind the neck is also one dark part. So for now I want to color your eyes with white because I still don't like your look. So next, let's take a look at your crop top and at the pattern. And for sure we're not going to draw all this pattern, like it's too tiny. And from distance nobody can really recognize that pattern, so we'll just draw the impression of it. So the sides are obviously black, and those maroon lines, I drew them with black fine liner. And for this diagonal part, I will just leave some shapes like petals, like like, you know, flowers. So not exactly the same, but it's fine. It will look similar. And now I'm drawing the actual flowers on your jacket and leaves. So as you can see, some leaves are blue and they have a bit thick lines inside. So I just draw them with a fine liner. And even though those flowers do not have a black outline, I still use it because I use outline for everything. And so, yeah, I'm just trying to repeat this pattern. Here it's just important to space everything evenly, so you can really in illustration draw a little bit bigger details. For example, you can draw those flowers just a bit bigger, because usually we have really tall models, and as a result clothing stretches, and yeah, we have more space to fill. I'm using canary color of Pro Marker. You can use any bright yellow. So I'm filling very carefully area between this pattern. Next I'm using mulberry Pro Marker for those flowers. And for the leaves I'm using China Blue. I think it matches really well the original color. But again, like, use what you have. So next I'm using mulberry for that stripe. I'm making a white stripe in the center with white ink gel pen, because especially when marker is a little bit wet, a white ink gel pen, it just blends with it and we'll get that pink in the center. So in the same way I work with the second half of your jacket. There is a link to the original design, like to the photo under the video. So you can actually take a look at the picture and paste yourself and copy that pattern or draw it in your own way. So now I'm just doing the same for your trousers. I'm just drawing all those flowers and leaves and branches. So I'm going to a little bit speed up this part of the video, because, well, I'm not doing anything that needs any special attention, because I'm trying to repeat this pattern in my own way. Alright, so I hope you're watching in a full screen mode. Right now I'm using tan color that I usually used for, it is a skin color, but I think here it works really well for the shadows. And usually here mostly we have shadows in the wrinkles. So at your elbow and those wrinkles on your jacket, because the fabric is a bit folded at the elbow where it goes behind. So somewhere inside I'm adding some caramel inside of your jacket on the left side and on your shoulders. Okay, so more of caramel, and here we have crease on your trousers in the middle. So I'm showing it with caramel and some extra shadows at the back of your other leg. So, and now I'm using tan again because it's a bit lighter. And whenever you add shadows, try not to add them as just strokes or regular forms like rectangles or circles. Just draw them as some really shapeless forms. So next I'm using brown pencil to show even more prominently that crease. For your central part of your crop top I'm using blue pearl, a bit light blue, mint green for the stripes, and some yellow on the sides. I'm using, you can use burnt umber, brown or burgundy for your shoes, and adding some highlights like tiny rectangles with white ink gel pen because she has something reptilish over there. So add extra shadows with a tan. Don't forget about the inside of your sleeve. Here I made just a diamond shapes with diagonal, crossing diagonal lines, and the same on the top. I just added many white dots. So I just, my camera stopped recording at that point. So here is our final results. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, please click the like button. Subscribe to FSketcher channel for more tutorials, support it on Patreon, and get access to exclusive content. Share your questions and suggestions in comment section below, and see you next tutorial.